but it's very easy to single out bankers. I mean, everyone hates bankers, don't they? No. We all hate bankers because they're rich.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 painfully awkward moments on Question Time. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at the times where politicians, celebrities, and even members of the public embarrassed themselves on the popular BBC debate show. Have you got a favourite cringe Question Time moment? Drop us a comment below and let us know. Number 10. Voting Brexit because of bananas. It's fair to say that Question Time has seen its share of strange audience members over the years, but this one might take the biscuit or banana.
And the reason because of that is because of, I go to a supermarket and a banana is straight. I'm just sick of the silly rules that come out of Europe.
This member of the public voices her distaste at EU regulations surrounding the banning of wonky bananas, but then goes on to say she can still find them. It makes no sense. We're not here to judge anybody's political leaning, but making a last-minute decision to vote to leave the European Union because you didn't like the shape of a banana is crazy.
Have the bananas changed?
If you go to Aldi, they're a bit bent.
It was bananas what did it, was it, for you?
No.
And then to go on the BBC and announce that decision to the entire country, that's pretty, bananas if you ask us. Number 9. Nick Griffin insults Jack Straw's dad.
Because we were joined in those wars by millions of black and Asian people from around the world.
Coming for somebody's parents is always a very low blow. But Nick Griffin, then leader of the highly controversial far-right British National Party, decided to go there when debating Labour's Jack Straw. Griffin was attempting to defend himself from claims he had previously shown support for the Nazi Party, and did so by deflecting to talk about Straw's father who, he suggested, was in prison for refusing to fight Adolf Hitler.
Finally, my father was in the RAF during the Second World War, while Mr. Straw's father was in prison for refusing to fight Adolf Hitler.
Straw is clearly taken aback, and fairly so. Debate the person, not their family. Griffin ultimately looks like he doesn't have an answer to the allegations, and when your only line of defense is to attack someone else, you're in trouble.
And the fact is that my father was in the RAF during the Second World War. I am not a Nazi. I never have been.
Number 8. Eddie Izzard gets told. It's a classic debate tactic. If you don't like what the other person is saying, simply talk over them.
We have no control.
Okay,
that's the point.
Hillary does. All right, let's come to the economy.
Comedian Eddie Izzard and then UKIP leader Nigel Farage had been at loggerheads over the impending EU referendum for the entirety of this 2016 episode, with Izzard being pro the Remain side and Farage naturally proudly endorsing the Brexiteers. But their inability to listen to the other's opinion grew tiresome quickly, prompting an audience member to intervene.
They didn't stop them coming in.
Right.
It's pretty embarrassing when your so-called debate has to end in such a way. The entire purpose of the show is to discuss, not shout over one another. If the audience is having to moderate, then you've screwed up somewhere along the line. Awkward. Number 7. Russell Brand's banker bashing. Yep, you heard that right. If you book Russell Brand on a show based around sharing your opinion, you know you're in for some hot takes.
That's how it works. When you're saying the politicians and the bankers, there ain't that much of a distinction, far as I can work out.
But even so, this extraordinary rant against bankers must have taken BBC bosses by surprise. While a young Boris Johnson looks on, Brand rips into finances in striking fashion, conjuring up the incredible image of a banker-bashing orgy.
An orgy of banker bashing is what we're in for, Russell Brand. Do you think that's what's happening?
I think an orgy of any kind would be great, but...
Quite why this was where his mind took him, we'll never know. Brand's passion is to be applauded, but the specifics of what he's saying are a bit, well, weird to be honest. It's bizarre but very on brand. On brand. Get it? Number 6. Ed Miliband trips up. It would have been impossible to make this list without including dear old Ed in it somewhere.
I'm not the guy who's going to make the easy promises, because all it does is it makes people think you're all going to break your promises.
The former Labour leader is world-renowned for his bumbling, accident-prone persona and has made no shortage of goofs on live TV. But this one is arguably his finest question time moment. Miliband gave a great performance in front of the panel on an election special in 2015, answering almost every question with conviction. But in true Ed style, it was too good to be true. His performance came to a close by tripping and almost falling off the stage, because of course he did. Naturally, the stumble was what the media ran with the next day. The story of his career. Number 5. John Lydon's drug tax.
People make bad mistakes because they don't have the information. But for me personally, I don't want my drugs taxed.
The Sex Pistols singer is known for his outspoken and controversial nature and took to the Question Time panel to voice his support for the legalization of drugs. The problem was, his delivery had become increasingly slow, loud, and repetitive over the course of the show, and by the time he finally got to tackling the issues that meant the most to him, he had run out of steam to make his point especially convincing.
I don't see why these things should be illegal if the correct information is out there.
And when he pleaded for his drugs not to be taxed, it was hard to view him as anything more than desperate. As far as celebrity bookings go, this was one of the more awkward and underwhelming appearances the show has seen. A disappointment.
There's many things that aren't helping, and it's always down to disinformation.
Number 4. Audience member offers to present the show. Usually it's the overly opinionated guests who have to put up with the brunt of the audience's wrath on Question Time.
Right, I just think the BBC is a national institution that we are all proud of, and I don't think anybody should be worrying about paying that licence fee. It's incredibly good value.
But this time, it was host Fiona Bruce who faced the music, as she was on the end of an astonishing rant from a member of the public who claimed he could do her job brilliantly.
Why is that money going to pay people to do something here? Well, actually, I think anybody in the audience could get up and present a programme brilliantly as well.
The man was unhappy about the six-figure salaries enjoyed by many BBC presenters, including Bruce, and questioned what the licence fee money was being spent on, adding that he could take over from the host next week.
If you want me to take over,
Michael.
I'll do it for you next week if you like.
Okay, watch this space.
Bruce laughs awkwardly in response, but the damage has already been done.
I won't be sitting here next week. What's your name? Michael. Michael will be sitting here next week.
The impartial host should never have been able to be roasted quite so easily as this. Number 3. Joey Barton and the Ugly Girls. If anybody can be relied on to say something offensive, it's serial bad boy Barton.
All you represent to me is UKIP is the best of a bad bunch.
The footballer has courted controversy virtually everywhere he's been, and his appearance on Question Time was no different. Attempting to explain his disillusionment with the major English political parties, he made the incredibly unwise decision to compare his electoral choices with choosing between 4 really ugly girls.
If I'm somewhere and there was 4 really ugly girls, I'm thinking, well, she's not the worst, because that's all you are.
The comment was met with uproar, especially from UKIP MEP Louise Bors, who the comment was aimed at. What an offensive thing to say, remarked Bors, quite fairly.
Footballers' brains are in their feet. Well, because he's absolutely proved that to me tonight.
Barton later apologised, putting it down to nerves, but nobody really bought it. Nerves don't usually turn into sexism, Joey. Number 2, Melanie Phillips and the Iranian apocalypse.
That is the problem, the defeatism of the British people against a clear threat to this country's interest.
If the criteria of this video was most unhinged Question Time moments, then Phillips' crazy rant would surely take the number 1 spot. The Daily Mail columnist managed the impressive feat of becoming the most memorable part of an episode also featuring Boris Johnson and Russell Brand, when she went off on a truly strange tangent about what she believed to be the apocalyptic ambitions of Iran.
Neutralise Iran, the British audience laughs. How trivial of you. How incredibly ignorant of you. Do you not understand what a threat this country is to us? No, you don't.
Her entirely unfounded claim was that Iran was happy to bring about the end of the world in order to summon the Shia Messiah, and it went down predictably badly and did little to nullify her reputation as a right-winger of controversial proportions. It's such a crazy moment that it feels surreal.
They believe that if they bring about the apocalypse, they will bring to earth the sheer Messiah. That's the people you're dealing with.
The normal Iranian does not believe that.
Number 1, Eric Pickles in a pickle.
How far are you away from Westminster?
37 miles.
And you need 2 houses.
The 2009 MP's expenses scandal rocked Westminster when it was revealed just how much of the taxpayers' money politicians were claiming to fund their lives. In the midst of this, Conservative Eric Pickles made a catastrophic Question Time appearance. Trying to defend his taxpayer-funded second home, Pickles claimed that it was necessary because he would have to get up earlier to make it to Parliament in time. The result was dire.
Please just let me explain for a moment. I had to be there. I was
like a job, in other words.
It was like a job.
David Dimbleby savaged him, the audience laughed and jeered, and Pickles became increasingly flustered and irate. We're used to seeing politicians being calm and composed, so for Pickles to lose his grip so comprehensively was shocking and hugely unprofessional.
I am never going to be able to say that because I am an MP and therefore guilty.
A cringe-worthy highlight of the show. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.